They said she was the golden girl, smart, gentle, pure, a girl with dreams big enough to carry her whole family out of poverty. She worked hard, she stayed focused, she trusted the people who called her family. But one night, one award night, changed everything. The sound of clapping filled the small compound. Neighbors peeked through windows and children cheered. Amaka has just received her admission letter. She was going to the university. Tears rolled down her mother's cheeks as she hugged her holy child tightly. "You will be the light this family has waited for," she whispered. Amaka was no ordinary child. She was a miracle. Her parents had waited 15 painful years before she was conceived. They fasted, prayed, visited hospitals and spiritual homes. When she was born, they named her Amaka, beautiful and precious, and truly she was. Her father, Mr. Okafor, once worked as a driver to Chief Nnamdi, a wealthy and influential businessman. He had served him loyally for over a decade, but one rainy evening changed everything. That day, Chief Nnamdi and his family were flying into Abuja from a vacation abroad. Mr. Okafor was on his way to pick them up from the airport when a speeding trailer lost control and crashed into his car. He survived, but never walked again. The accident left him paralyzed from the waist down. His world crumbled, but Chief Nnamdi didn't forget his loyalty. As a form of gratitude, the chief offered to sponsor Amaka's education from primary school to university. "She will go far," he said. "She will carry your name where your legs cannot take you." Chief Nnamdi's only daughter, Jessica, was the same age as Amaka. They had grown up together, best friends. They attended the same schools, shared clothes, dreams and secrets. Jessica was bubbly, rich and bold. Amaka was calm, modest and sharp. Where Jessica chased fun, Amaka chased knowledge. When it was time for university, both girls got admitted into the same prestigious private university. To the outside world, it was a dream come true. Two best friends, one from wealth, one from struggle, taking on the world together. But deep inside, something had already started to change. Jessica was no longer the sweet friend Amaka knew. Her eyes held secrets. Her laughter sounded forced. She started spending more time with her older brothers, David, a well-known womanizer, Dixon, a third-year student who whispered in shadows and reeked of weed. Still, Amaka remained focused. She kept her head down, studied hard and avoided trouble. She had one goal: to become a lawyer and change her family's story. Her mother, who ran a small shop in front of their house, called her every morning. "Amaka, don't forget who you are," she would say, and Amaka never did. By the end of her first year, she had become one of the brightest students in her department. Her lecturers loved her, her classmates admired her, even some of the staff knew her by her name. She had no enemies, no scandals, no distractions, just dreams. But dreams don't always protect you from darkness, and Amaka didn't know that her light was starting to attract shadows. The university campus buzzed with life, music, laughter, and movement at every corner. But somewhere between the rhythm of lectures and the beat of parties, a quiet war was growing between two worlds. Amaka and Jessica shared a room in the hostel. At first, everything felt familiar. They laughed late into the night, helped each other with assignments, and told childhood stories like they used to. But gradually, Jessica started changing. It began with the way she dressed: shorter skirts, heavier makeup, flashy jewelry. Then came the night she didn't return to the hostel, the phone calls she took in whispers, and the strange men who drop her off in expensive cars. "Jessie, are you okay?" Amaka once asked gently. Jessica rolled her eyes. "Please, don't start. Not everyone wants to live like a nun." Amaka said nothing. She knew it was pointless to argue. Jessica had become bold, wild, and reckless, just like her brothers. David, the eldest, was in his fifth year, handsome, charming, and dangerous. He was known for one thing: women. Pretty girls were his addiction. He loved them soft, naive, and easy to discard. Rumor had it he once dated three girls from the same department at the same time. Dixon, the second brother, was darker. He lived in shadows, always with red eyes and shaky hands. People whispered that he did drugs and had connections with court boys on campus. Nobody confronted him. Even the lecturers gave him space. They were the kind of brothers who brought fear, not pride. So when Jessica started hanging out with them, everyone noticed. It was no surprise when she began skipping classes, going to clubs, and mingling with older men. Amaka stayed out of it. She focused on her books. She stayed in the library longer than anyone. She joined the campus law society, attended workshops, and impressed her lecturers with her brilliance. In her second year, she was named the most promising student in the Faculty of Law. Her GPA was the highest in her class. She had earned respect without shortcut, but success has a price. While some clapped for her, others watched with silence, jealousy, Jessica included. It wasn't that Jessica hated Amaka, but something inside her began to burn. She was the boss' daughter, the one with money, beauty, and connections. Yet, it was Amaka everyone talked about. Still, she laughed. Still, she smiled. Still, she hugged her. Still, she said, "I am proud of you." But Amaka could feel it. The distance, the coldness behind the warmth, the silence between conversation. They were now walking two different roads, one paved with discipline and dreams, the other with secrets, danger, and dark pleasures. And yes, they lived under the same roof, ate from the same pot, laughed in front of others, but in the dark, something was shifting, and Amaka didn't know that her name was being whispered in rooms she had never entered, that her light was beginning to cast shadows in places she didn't even know existed. Because sometimes, when the light shines too bright, it begins to expose the darkness people are trying to hide. It started with a whisper, a name spoken softly in a room filled with smoke and secret: Amaka. Dixon leaned back on the worn-out couch in his off-campus apartment. His eyes were red. The house smelled of weed and stale beer. David was seated across from him, scrolling through his phone lazily while a girl lay asleep beside him. "She's clean," Dixon said. David looked up. "Who?" "The scholarship girl." "The law babe, of course. Jessica's friend." David chuckled. "You mean Amaka? That's why don't even look at anyone twice. She's not my type. Too smart. Too proud." "No," Dixon said. "She's different. That kind of girl can make a man feel something real." David raised a brow. "You are getting soft." Diskin shook his head. "No, I'm saying she's valuable." There was a pause. Then David grinned. "You want to try her?" Diskin stared at the ceiling, lips tight. "Not yet. But keep an eye on her." From that moment, Amaka's name became a topic behind closed doors. Meanwhile, she went about her life unaware. She was in her third year now, still topping her class, still humble, still focused. She had just been shortlisted to represent her department in a national law competition, but around her, eyes watched. Whispers followed her into corridors, into lecture halls, into the hostel. Jessica grew more distant. Sometimes she came home smelling of alcohol. Other times, she brought strange girls over, girls who partied all night and left before sunrise. Amaka hated it, but she said nothing. She didn't want trouble. One night, as she read quietly on her bed, Jessica walked in and stared at her for a long time. "You are still reading?" Jessica asked. Amaka smiled. "Exams are next week." Jessica sat down slowly, biting her lips. "Sometimes I wonder if you are even human." Amaka laughed. "What do you mean?" "You are too perfect. It's scary." There was silence. Amaka looked up. "Are you okay, Jessie?" Jessica forced a smile. "Yes, I'm fine. Just tired." But her eyes said something else. Something broken. Something lost. Later that night, Jessica made a call in the bathroom. She thought Amaka was asleep. "She's getting too much attention. Everyone loves her. My dad, even my mom. They always talk about her. Amaka this, Amaka that. I'm tired." "No, I'm not saying I want her gone. I'm just saying maybe it's time someone humbled that girl." "Leave that to us." Jessica returned to bed. Amaka didn't move. Her eyes were open. Her heart was pounding. She didn't hear the full conversation, but she knew she was no longer safe. The sky over campus was light with stars, but down below, the air was thick with celebration. The Faculty of Law Award Night was the event everyone had waited for. Students arrived in shimmery gowns and crisp tuxedos, laughter echoing across the hotel hall that had been beautifully decorated with gold and white drapes. Amaka stood by the mirror in her hostel room, adjusting the simple but elegant wine-colored gown Chief Nnamdi bought her. Her hair was neatly styled, her face slightly touched with makeup. She didn't like attention, but tonight she couldn't avoid it. She had been nominated for two major awards, Best Student in the Department and Best in the Faculty. Jessica seated at the edge of her bed in an elegant red dress, sipped from a can of energy drink while scrolling through her phone. "You look decent," Jessica muttered, eyes still on her screen. "Thanks," Amaka replied. Jessica finally looked up. "I heard Dixon and David will be there tonight. You ready to be the queen of the night?" Amaka gave a small smile. I just want to collect my award and go home. But deep inside, she felt uneasy. Jessica had been cold all week. Sometimes she would stare at Amaka without saying a word. Sometimes she would smile too hard, too fake. There was something behind that smile, a storm waiting to strike. That night, they arrived at the hotel together. The award ceremony began with performance, music, a short drama. Students shared, took selfie and posted Instagram story with hashtag like hashtag Law 2025. Then came the award. When Amaka was announced as the best student in the faculty, the hall erupted with applause. Everyone stood. Camera flashed. She walked up the stage, heart pounding, eyes glistening in pride. Her lecturers shook her hand. The dean gave her a firm nod. She could see her classmates smiling in the crowd. Even Jessica, sitting in the first row, stood up and clapped, tears in her eyes. She ran to the stage and hugged Amaka tightly, whispering, "You deserve it." And just for a second, Amaka believed they were truly friends again. After the ceremony, came the after party in the hotel lounge. Music blasted through the speaker. Drinks were everywhere. People danced and laughed. Amaka tried to stay, but she didn't feel comfortable. Too many unfamiliar faces, too much alcohol. She had planned to leave early, but Jessica insisted. "One last dance," she said, pulling her towards the center of the dance floor. Amaka danced with her classmates, laughing, spinning, trying to blend in. It was the first time she truly let go. The music carried her away. It felt good to celebrate after years of hard work. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. Around midnight, someone said she saw her walk towards the hotel hallway alone. By morning, her body was found in a room on the third floor. She had been stabbed multiple times. There were signs of assault. The police were called. Her award plaque still clutched in one hand, was soaked in blood, and the hotel CCTV footage gone, wiped clean. The news broke before dawn. By 6 a.m., the entire university campus was in chaos. Students gathered in whispers. Disbelief hinged on every face. Amaka. No, it can't be. The same girl that won best in faculty last night. When the police arrived, they found her body cold and bruised. Her dress was torn. Her award plaque, smeared with blood, lay on the floor beside her hand. The hotel manager trembled as officer questioned him. We, we don't know what happened. He stuttered. We never saw her check in. We don't know how she got in that room. The CCTV footage from the hallway and receptions was missing. Missing? The lead officer repeated, his voice dangerously low. Or deleted. Tampered with, the technician confirmed. Whoever did it knew exactly what they were doing. The case escalated quickly. Chief Nnamdi flew into town within hours, flanked by his personal lawyer and private security team. He visited the crime scene himself, standing quietly in the doorway of the hotel room, fists clenched. "I made a promise to her father," he said quietly. "She was like a daughter to me. Someone will answer for this." Back at the family house, Hamaka's mother collapsed on the floor when she heard the news. "No, no, not my daughter, not my child." Neighbors rushed in. Church members surrounded her in prayers, but no prayer could mend her shattered soul. Worse still, Amaka's father, bedridden and paralyzed, suffered a heart attack on hearing the news. He died before help could arrive. Two lives gone in a single day. Jessica sat silently through it all. She gave a statement to the police, sobbing quietly. We danced. She was happy. Then I lost sight of her. I thought she went home. Detective didn't look convinced. We have reports you were the last to be seen with her. Jessica nodded. We left the party together, but she went to the restroom. I waited. She never came back. David and Dixon were questioned too. Dixon claimed he left the party early, while David said he was not in town so he did not attend the party. The day Amaka was buried, the sky was dark. People cried. Some had flowers, others just shook their heads. But one person stood out, Jessica. She was Amaka's best friend, the last person seen with her on the night of the award. Now, people were pointing fingers. She's the one. She must have done it. She was jealous. Nobody wanted to hear her side of the story. The school called her in and said, "You are no longer a student here. You have been expelled." Jessica cried. I didn't do it. I loved Hamaka. But no one listened. Her father, Chief Nnamdi, was angry. He didn't argue with the school. He didn't ask questions. Instead, he told Jessica, pack your bags. You are going abroad. Just like that, Jessica was gone. A few days later, David and Dixon, her older brothers, were also sent abroad. No one knew why. They just left quietly. Back in Nigeria, Amaka was laid to rest. Her mother knelt at the grave every week, holding flowers in one hand and her daughter's photo in the other. She whispered through her tears, My baby, who did this to you? She had no answers, but one man came often to her house, Chief Nnamdi. He brought food, he paid her bills. He said things like, she was like a daughter to me. I will always care for you. Amaka's mother believed him. She thought he was a good man, but she didn't know he was hiding a secret. It has been many years since Amaka died. People stopped talking about it. The school moved on, but Amaka's mother never forgot. She still visited her daughter's grave every week. She still brought fresh flowers. She still cried. She still asked, Who killed you, my child? Then one day, something happened. A man walked into a police station. He was thin, tired, and looked very worried. My name is Uche, he said. I was a cleaner at the hotel where that girl died. The police sat up. Why are you here now? They asked. The man sighed. I have kept this in for too long. I need to speak. He looked down and began to talk. That night, I was throwing away trash near the hotel lounge. I saw the girl, Amaka. She was talking to a man, an older man. She called him Big Daddy. The place was dark, so I didn't see his face well, but I heard him clearly. Go to room 204. The man said, I have a special gift for you. Amaka smiled. She looked so happy. She hugged him and walked away. The officer asked, Why didn't you say this years ago? The man's voice shook. The hotel manager gave all of us 500,000. He said we must never talk. A month later, we were all sacked. I left the city and went to the village to take care of my sick mother. I tried to forget, but I couldn't. Her smiles won't leave my mind. Her voice haunts me. Tears roll down his cheeks. I want to make it right. I want her to rest in peace. The police officer stood slowly and said, "Thank you. You may have just helped us find the truth." After the cleaner spoke, the police reopened the case. They began to look for the other hotel workers who were on duty the night Amaka died. One by one, they found them. Some were now selling food in the market. Some were in far villages. Some were scared to speak, but the truth was ready to come out. One woman said, "Yes, I saw Amaka enter room 204, but she didn't check in. The room was already booked." Another said, "I saw a young man go into that room just a few minutes after her. They didn't know who the young man was, but they remembered his face was sharp and his walk was fast." Then they called the CCTV technician. He looked confused. That night, the hotel manager called all of us to an emergency meeting. I didn't know what happened to the cameras. Now, the place had a name, the hotel manager. They went to his house and arrested him. At first, he shouted, "I don't know anything." But after some time, he began to shake. He covered his face and he started to cry. "I will tell you everything." He took a deep breath and said, "Chief Nnamdi is my childhood friend. That night, he called me and said, 'Reserve room 204 for me. I want to surprise my daughters at their award night.' So I did." Later that night, he called again. His voice was shaking. "Please come. Something bad has happened." I rushed to the room. When I opened the door, I saw something I would never forget. Dixon, Chief's son, was covered in blood. Amaka was lying on the floor, not moving. The police officer's eyes widened. "Dixon?" The manager nodded slowly. "Chief told me Dixon forced her and then he killed her." I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. But Chief pleaded. He said I should help him. He doesn't want his son to go to jail. So we cleaned the room. We deleted the CCTV footage. We removed everything that could show what really happened. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The truth was finally beginning to shine. But there was one more pieces left. What would Chief Nnamdi say? The police brought Chief Nnamdi to the station. He didn't say a word. He just sat in the chair, silent, tired, and shaking. 2 days passed. Then, on the third day, he finally looked up and said, "I want to talk." His voice was low. His hands were cold. His heart was heavy. "My wife was not in town," he began. "She had traveled out of the country for a study leave. So I thought, why not surprise my daughters during their award night? I called Dixon and told him I was coming to town. Let's surprise Jessica. Don't tell her and don't tell Amaka either." I didn't call David. He wasn't in town. He had traveled for business. Chief Nnamdi's voice cracked as he continued. "I arrived at the hotel that evening. I was excited. I couldn't wait to see their faces. Then I saw Amaka coming out of the hotel lounge. She looked so happy, so full of life. She ran to me and greeted me. She was surprised to see me. I smiled and told her not to tell Jessica. It's a surprise. I gave her the key to room 204. and told her to go and wait there for me. Let me get Jessica. I told her Dixon is on his way. She smiled again, so bright, so innocent, and she walked away. I stepped outside to answer a phone call from the hotel manager. He was just checking on me. We talked for a few minutes. Right after that call, my phone rang again. It was Dixon. Chief Nnamdi's eyes filled with tears. Dad, I have done something bad. What did you do? I didn't mean to, but I hurt her. I hurt Amaka. I froze. My heart stopped. I rushed upstairs, straight to room 204. He closed his eyes and clenched his fist. I opened the door and what I saw broke me. Amaka was lying on the floor, not breathing. Her dress was torn. There was blood. Dixon was standing there, crying. He kept saying, I didn't mean to. I lost control. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I was a father watching my son become a monster. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But I was afraid. He was still my son. I called my friend, the hotel manager. I told him, please, help me. I don't know what to do. He came quickly. We deleted the CCTV footage. We cleaned the room. We removed everything that could link us to the crime. Tears rolled down Chief Nnamdi's face. I loved Amaka. She was like a daughter to me. I saw her grow up beside Jessica. I also loved my son. But what he did was evil. I chose to hide the truth. I thought I was protecting my family, but I was burying a child's voice, a future, a life. Now I am ready to face my punishment. The courtroom was full. People sat in silence, waiting for the trial to begin. The world now knew the truth. Dixon Nnamdi was the one who killed Amaka. Chief Nnamdi had confessed. The hotel manager had confessed. But the killer, he was gone. Just 1 week before the trial, the police received a phone call that would shake everyone again. A cold voice came from the line. This is the US Embassy. We are sorry to inform you that Dixon Nnamdi was killed last night. He was shot in a gang fight in New York. His body has been confirmed by fingerprints. He is dead. The police dropped the phone in shock. When the news reached Chief Nnamdi, he collapsed in the prison cell. He screamed out loud. The guards rushed in. He hit his chest and cried like a broken man. He wept until his body gave up. He had a heart attack that night. The prison guard carried him out on a stretcher. His hands were cold, his eyes open, staring into nothing. Chief Nnamdi was gone. In 1 week, the Nnamdi's family lost a son and a father. The weight of truth had crushed them. Jessica returned from abroad. She stood at Amaka's grave. She dropped her nail to the ground, crying, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wore your shoes in pain, not knowing who broke them. You didn't deserve what happened to you, and I didn't deserve to walk away free. Then, on a quiet Tuesday morning, Amaka's mother came to the grave. She wore all white, no tears, just peace. She bent down, touched the headstone and whispered, "My daughter, the world now knows who killed you. The ones who hurt you are gone, one by the gun and one by guilt. They thought they buried you, but they didn't know they planted a voice that will never die." She stood up, dropped a single rose and walked away with strength in her steps. Justice had spoken. Blood never hides forever. Lessons from the story. This story teaches us that sometimes the greatest danger wears a familiar face, and the ones we trust the most can carry the darkest secret. It shows us that betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. It comes from those who say, "I love you," while hiding the knife behind their back. It reminds us that silence is not always peace. Sometimes, silence is fear wearing a mask. It teaches us that covering evil with money or lies only delay judgment, but it doesn't erase it, because the truth, no matter how deeply buried, will always find its way back to the surface. This story speaks to the women who were blamed for what they didn't do, to the girls who were silenced by shame, to the boys who grew up believing power makes you untouchable, to the men who protect wrong just to keep their names clean, and to every soul who had ever been broken, used, or forgotten. It reminds us that evil thrives when good people keep quiet, and justice only comes when someone chooses to speak. Let the story be a warning, a mirror, and a voice, because in the end, the truth never dies. It only waits for the right moment to rise and roar. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also click the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep enjoying great stories from me to you. I love you all. God bless you.